Oh, this has to be my favorite point of the game right now.
Can we talk?
No. He could have said, hey guys, I think we're going slow.
You don't just press a button.
Just get up and like spaz out and press the button.
I thought maybe it's claustrophobic.
I thought he was having a panic
attack.
I really thought he was having a panic attack.
Not just like,
this just like
if you have a problem, you consult with the group.
I thought it was like the rhythm, like if those numbers just over and over again, being in a small place with a bunch of people. I thought he'd freak out. But
well,
no,
I knew we started too slow, but we could have caught up, not just like given up.
That's why I sped up. Because I knew even if I was going too fast, we had been going too slow before.
Right.
And I knew
I thought,
the
like, I was like
differences.
happy when you sped up because we could have caught up, and then when we got to her minute, we would go back to normal or something like that. Like,
like
that
the
was just like
differences
that was just
should've
like way too slow.
Shell and Kat were not happy with Mike after he pushed the button, but Mike seemed to think that it was an impossible task, so there was no point in doing it anyway. So they're just accusing him of being the mole or not listening to the group.
I mean, what else was that? If he weren't trying to sabotage,
if he weren't trying to sabotage,
what
what is he trying to do? But if he is trying to sabotage, that's like a little too like out there. But then again, he's Mike. I don't know what that means, but he's Mike. I just don't.
Is he still out there just by himself?
I just don't. I gotta talk to him. No, I don't want to talk to him. Yes. No.
Maybe if you could talk to him, and then we'll be less confused.
I'm just really lost right now.
I'm really lost too because like I had been talking to Mike the whole time. I kind of felt like we had a somewhat of an alliance.
I thought you would be thinking the same.
Yeah, and then this just completely shattered what I thought.
Was Rachel listening to him?
Yeah, it was me, Rachel, and him.
I remember that. And then Rachel left. I don't know what to think now.
I didn't expect so much tension though, I'll give it that, but people seem to be rather livid. But hopefully I rattled some chains and got some people kind of questioning, getting a little on edge towards this last round. Final four coming up, so.
What the fuck? I don't know what to think anymore. Dude, because he flipped shit. I don't know if he was like having a panic attack. I mean, like why he didn't say anything to us. Why Mike didn't say anything to us about like he wanted to hit the button to stop the game. So obviously a lot of people were angry. And I mean, I don't know if he was like, if he should be my new suspect for the mole. Because like, I didn't think he was being, I didn't think he was sabotaging before, but like that was really, like, he was either like just freaking out or was really trying to obviously sabotage him. I don't know. I've been here all day.
Okay. I don't know what to think right now. What was that? Seriously, what was that? Mike just at 4 minutes or something presses the button. Yes, I know we started really slow and I wanted to speed that up. But he didn't know. I mean, okay, if he's the mole, he just was blatantly obvious about that. He just showed us, I'm gonna sabotage your little game, and he did. However, if he's not the mole, maybe he did that so people would think he's the mole, and they would vote for him, and then they would get off themselves and he would stay on. So now I'm caught between those two options. Because would a mole be that obvious? Or would the mole know he was being obvious and then getting other people to say, no, that's way too obvious, he's not the mole? I don't know. I think I'm thinking way too much about this, but I still think it's Mike or Kat. But Kat was really convincing when she was like, no, you consult with the group first. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Hopefully I don't leave this round because maybe everyone else is confused, as much confused as I am, but really What was that? Seriously.
I was honestly glad he pushed the button because I didn't want to be in the elevator for 10 minutes. But I think it was a really obvious thing for him to do if he is the mole. I think he was just trying to shake things up. I think Mike is trying to make people think he's the mole now, but I don't think he really is.
Could have been the greatest move that I've pulled in this game thus far. My main motivation for pushing the button was, ideally, it seemed like to go to the Final Four that there would be an exemption offered in that round. But so I thought, push the button early, fuck things up, maybe earn an exemption for it. Didn't work out like that. But turns out we wouldn't have won the game anyways, so I saved us a bunch of time.
Well, that's the second challenge in a row that it seems like Mike has intentionally sabotaged, because in the spelling challenge he was the first one out because he spelled a pretty easy word wrong, and then this just came out of nowhere. He didn't even want to consult with us about why he felt like it was going too slow, even though he started off going too slow, and he didn't even stop and say like, hey, maybe we should re-estimate. He just pressed the button without saying anything and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Which, to me, either he's the mole or he just wants us to think that he's the mole. He could be going either way, but just based on the reactions of the other people who were in the elevator, I think that they were all just as shocked as I was.
What's up?
So, do you think that Mike pushed the button because he's not the mole and wants everybody to just think
This is
that
what I
he's the
said in my
mole?
interview. I said, okay, if he's the mole, he's stupid and he was too obvious.
Yeah.
Or he's not the mole and he wants people to think he is,
Right.
so they'll vote for him and he'll stay in.
Right.
Or he is the mole and he'll know it's too obvious and people will think that it was too obvious.
Right.
So there's like 3 possibilities and I don't know how smart he is. He's smart. I just don't know like which way he's thinking.
Right, exactly.
So I don't know what
But it's
that
like,
means.
if he is the mole, does he think that he's gotten to the point where like enough people have figured it out already? Like, does he think that like we figured out like from the last challenge that he was a bad speller?
Because I came up to him, I said, I think you're the mole.
Yeah, so does he think that enough people think he's the mole now that it's like so obvious that he just is going out there to keep us from winning money? And
I want to see what he does next round.
I don't know.
But then, again, it could be those same 3 options.
Yes. And did you say anything to him after the elevator incident?
I said, what the hell?
Well, I mean, like, did you like say anything?
No, I just
about
stared him down.
Because I went up to him and it was after I went on my one-on-one interview, and I went over to him and I said, hey, I know your game. I know that you're just trying to get people to think you're the mole. And I was like, I know who the real mole is. So I was like, quit losing us money.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like, well, maybe this one, maybe not.
If he is the one who's thinking you're an idiot. But if he's not, then I don't know what to think.
Do you think it's Michelle?
I've always like thrown a couple votes in the quiz, like for her, and I'm still here. And like everyone that she's been around, like leaves. It's one of those things that's like very suspicious.